Living within the world of a William Shakespeare script, there always exists a meditation on humanity itself. Love is fickle, yet true love is said to never die. Illusory and contradictory, love is a farce and a comedy. It could be said that love is much ado about nothing. In his 1599 play of the same name, Shakespeare uses his masterful wit and storytelling to tell the tale of two romantic pairings that blossom in the rolling hills of Messina, Italy. Deception, lies, and gossip take root as the romances grow and crack. From a certain perspective, the play can almost be interpreted as a satirization of romantic love. Yet, in spite of the ambitiously humorous plot and Shakespeare's endless layers of wordplay and irony, there are many serious thematic assertions about love being made. Our first couple, Claudio and Hero, represent the portrayal of love as often being superficial and fragile attraction, based on appearances and performances, and thus prone to misinterpretations and disappointments. Essentially, Claudio is initially captivated by Hero's beauty and her father's wealth. As a result of these material lusts, Claudio falls in love with an idealized version of Hero that is based in his fantasies of wealth, sex, and power. Shakespeare reveals the weaknesses of Claudio's foundations for his love later in the plot. Claudio is easily deceived by Don John into believing that Hero is not a virgin, leading to a horrific scene of humiliation at the altar.
To give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift.
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness.
There's enough! Take her back! Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Would you not swear, or you can see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows, but she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed.
What do you mean, my lord?
Hall of Fame crash out from that little twerp right there. Naturally, there are many socio-political forces that govern our society, and by extension, many of the same forces govern our romance. There are many different instances of love. Love at first sight, love governed by pride, love governed by sex, love governed by politics, love governed by money, love governed by family. Much Ado uses its sharp-witted criticism and its alluring farce to poke fun at these forces and expectations which humans arbitrarily place upon romance. Shakespeare reflects this reality in Claudio's character. His love for Hero is not true because it was dependent on the superficial standards of society. Hero possesses the attributes which love is really about, such as graciousness and vulnerability. These attributes are which Claudio knows not, because for him, love is a performance for society. It's about virginity and pageantry for him. The piece subtly, but comedically, presents the bold claim that society's concepts of romance represent perversions of love, not celebrations of it. Much Ado About Nothing portrays the true nature of romantic love as being extraordinary, for the reason that true romantic love can only exist from within, through internalized trust and complete emotional vulnerability. There are no outside forces or factors which can build or destroy the love. It must come from somewhere within. However, Shakespeare is not entirely pessimistic in his writing. He creates a duality through our second couple, Beatrice and Benedick. Unlike Claudio and Hero, Beatrice and Benedick are old adversaries who have subverted the love at first sight trope. However, they are constantly engaged in a merry war of wits, insulting each other and often ignoring their obvious magnetism. In this way, they are similar to Claudio and Hero in their animosity and distrust towards one another.
What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Why, no, no more than reason.
Why, then my cousin, Margaret, and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I'm sure you love the gentleman.
I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her, for here's the paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another. No! Written in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
Shakespeare is presenting a universal truth, but also an uncomfortable idea about love here. He is observing that we subconsciously hold resentment for our romantic partners because of the vulnerability which they stir up in us. Claudio acted on the resentment when embarrassing Hero. He was unable to accept the vulnerable position which love requires you to accept. But what of Beatrice and Benedict? They also lean into their resentment of each other, especially in an instant towards the end of the play where Beatrice asks Benedict to kill Claudio as punishment for his embarrassment of Hero at the altar. Benedict's refusal and the ensuing fight are quelled by Shakespeare's happy ending, where they discover sonnets written for each other, and everyone makes up. All four of our lovebirds refuse to trust each other, refuse to be vulnerable with one another, and generally refuse to love one another throughout the play. Yet, Shakespeare remedies all strife with his storytelling skills, and the play inevitably ends with two happy weddings, as any comedy should. Perhaps in this way, the play could be understood simply as a sort of parable, warning of what dysfunctional relationships look like and their consequences. In a way, this is true. However, if there is one grand takeaway I believe Shakespeare provided for audiences in this play, it is that true love comes from within, and for that reason, it can be complicated, and it can be senseless, and it can be ugly, and it can leave scars. This is true human romance. Shakespeare was writing in a time where marriage was a political institution, where women had almost no say in the matter, and it was entirely dependent upon economic status and social class. Much Ado About Nothing calls out this brutal reality through its ironic comedy. The farce of the play portrays the conventions of romance that are invented by society as being nothing more than an external fantasy, a foundation of sand, an illusion, and a perversion of true love. The reality of love which Shakespeare presents is that it always will be within you. So, if you truly love someone, look inside of yourself and cherish it.